An impossible staircase appears in my bedroom, but the note I found is the real nightmare. I haven't slept in my own bed for 3 days. I don't think I can ever sleep in this house again. My mother passed a month ago. The bank took her condo, and my one-bedroom apartment suddenly cost more than I made. So I came back here, to the house I grew up in. The only place left. It felt like a failure, packing my life into boxes and hauling them back up the same driveway I couldn't wait to leave 10 years ago. The house was quiet, not peaceful quiet. It was the heavy, waiting quiet of a place that has forgotten the sound of voices. The air was stale with the ghosts of potpourri and old dust. I spent the first day just moving through the rooms, my footsteps echoing like a stranger's. I decided to sleep in my old room. The twin bed was long gone, so I just threw my mattress on the floor in the corner, under the window where I used to watch from my dad's headlights. It felt smaller. Everything did. I was out the second my head hit the pillow. Not a peaceful sleep. It was that heavy, drugged kind of exhaustion where you don't dream, you just fall into a black pit. Then I was awake. It wasn't a noise that woke me. It was a pressure change, like the feeling in your ears when a storm is about to break. The room was pitch black, but something felt wrong. I sat up. The door was ajar. I always sleep with the door closed. Always. I figured I must have just forgotten in the haze of moving. I got up, my legs stiff, and went to shut it. My hand touched the wood, and I stopped. This wasn't my door. My door was cheap hollow core, painted in ugly off-white with a loose brass knob. This door was thick, dark wood with bands of black iron across it. It felt ancient, cold. This is a dream, I told myself. A stress dream. That's all. I pulled the heavy door open. The hallway was gone. In its place, a spiral staircase fell away into a darkness so complete it felt solid. It also went up, coiling into a gloom that swallowed the light from my room. It was made of a slick gray stone, worn smooth in the center of each step. The air that washed over me was cold. It smelled of wet earth and something else. Something sharp and metallic, like rust or old blood. A low, droning echo hummed from the depths, a sound that vibrated in my teeth. Dream logic is a funny thing. You don't question it, you just go. I wanted a glass of water, and my dream brain told me the kitchen must be down, so I stepped out of my room and onto the stone. The cold shot through the soles of my feet. It was real. Too real. I hesitated, 1 foot in my room, 1 foot on the stairs. But the pull of the place, the deep thrumming echo, it was like a current. I let the door swing shut behind me and started down. The spiral was dizzying. After a minute of walking down, I should have been on the first floor. After 5, I should have been in the basement. After 10, I was nowhere. Just more stone, more spiraling dark. The only sound was the scuff of my bare feet. A deep sense of unease started to crawl up my spine. This wasn't right. I was getting nowhere. I stopped. The silence pressed in. I decided to go back, wake myself up. I turned and looked up. The staircase twisted above me, a spine of stone disappearing into a black sky. I couldn't see my door. I couldn't see anything. It looked impossible, miles high. My heart started to hammer against my ribs. I started walking up, faster this time, then jogging, then running. My breath came in ragged bursts, my calves burned, up and up and up. The walls were a blur. I ran my hand along the cold stone as I went, searching for a crack, a handle, anything. The claustrophobia was a physical weight, pressing on my chest, making it hard to breathe. I ran until my lungs were on fire. I had to stop, leaning against the curved wall, gasping, and that's when I saw it. Scratched into the stone at eye level, faint white lines like chalk. It wasn't neat. It was a frantic, desperate scrawl. It lies. The path is a lie. Listen for home. They unravel you. 3 down, 1 up. Fall, back. Stay safe. Zola? Zola? Who the hell was Zola? And what did she mean, unravel you? Before I could even process the words, I heard it. It came from above. A soft, wet, sliding sound. like something slick being dragged across the stone. I froze, every muscle in my body screaming. I held my breath, listening. The sliding was joined by a faint rhythmic click. Slide, click, slide, click. It was getting closer. Then came the smell, that metallic tang from before, but stronger now, mixed with the gut-turning stench of rotten meat left too long in the sun. A wave of cold air washed over me. I didn't think, I just reacted. I turned and scrambled back down the stairs, away from the sound. I stumbled, my palm slapping hard against the stone. The noise echoed up into the darkness. From above came a shriek, a high, chittering sound that wasn't animal, wasn't human. The slow slide and click exploded into a terrifying, skittering sprint. It was impossibly fast. It sounded like a bag of wet bones tumbling down the stairs, but with a purpose, with a hunger. I ran. My feet pounded on the stone, my arms pumped, tears streaming from my eyes. It was gaining on me. I could hear its breathing now, a low, wet rattle, like a dying man trying to clear his lungs. It was right behind me. I could feel the cold of its presence on the back of my neck. The note. My panicked mind latched onto the words. Listen for home. What the fuck did that mean? And then I heard it, or I thought I heard it. Faint, so faint. The low hum of the refrigerator in my kitchen. It had to be a hallucination. It had to be. But it was all I had. 3 down, 1 up, fall, back. I risked a glance over my shoulder. I saw a flash of something impossibly long and pale in the shadows, a limb whipping through the air. I didn't have time. I took 3 frantic steps down. Then, fighting every instinct to flee, I forced myself to take 1 step back up. Nothing happened. The chittering was deafening. It was on me. Fall. Back, the note said. In pure animal terror, I just let go, throwing myself backward into the hard stone wall. My hand hit something. Something that wasn't stone. It was round. Metal. Cold. A doorknob. I twisted it without looking. An oblong of pale light opened in the stone. I threw myself through the opening as a white, needle-thin appendage sliced through the air where my throat had been. I landed hard on a wood floor and kicked the door shut with my heel. It clicked shut and the world went silent. I was in my bedroom. I lay on the floor shaking, my whole body slick with a cold sweat. I couldn't breathe. I just gasped and sobbed, curled up on the floorboards. After a few minutes, the shaking subsided enough for me to crawl to my nightstand. I grabbed my phone. The screen flared to life. 3:33 a.m. I turned on the flashlight, its beam cutting a shaky path through the darkness. I crept to the door. My hand trembled as I reached for the knob. It was my door, the cheap, hollow core door. I opened it a crack. The hallway was there, the faded runner, the crooked painting of a ship my dad loved. All normal, all boring, all safe. I slammed it shut and leaned against it, sliding to the floor. It was a dream. It had to be a dream. A nightmare brought on by grief and stress. I stumbled back toward my mattress, ready to collapse until morning. My phone's light danced across the floor and caught something on the baseboard, right next to where my pillow had been. More chalk. I knelt, my blood turning to ice. The handwriting was the same frantic scrawl. I must have been sleeping with my head inches from it all night. It knows you're here now. It remembers the doors you open. Don't go back. Don't ever go back.